Hi, Weather Joey here with your bottom of the South Island weather recap and forecast for, Monday, April 21st, and a happy Easter weekend. Since we last talked to you, it would have been about 2 weeks ago. A spring has sprung here on the West Coast, and everything's growing and popping, and flowers and grass and anyway, we'll get into that, but before I do, I'd like to, as always, take this opportunity to thank and acknowledge the first peoples of this land, the people who have been here forever, and their ancestors who watch over this land, for allowing us to live, work, play, and be guests on this beautiful land. We thank you very much. Yes, and a beautiful spring it is. So since we last talked, it's been a while, since like 2 weeks or so. Spring has sprung in the meantime, but I'm gonna have to go over for you guys in the future. Talking to you out there. Hope everything's okay. So I'm gonna go back over just verbatim. I always write notes here. I've got pages and pages of notes. Anyway, so we last talked. It was we had low pressure offshore here, bringing in a southwest flow. So let's refer back to that. So we're looking at dates here. So this low pressure helps with a mild southwest flow to start on the 5th with a mix of sun and clouds, but with an organized front moving in from the southwest as this big low continues to spin kind of up in here. This brings rain from the south-southwest all day of the 6th, with cooler temps from around here, the Bering Strait coming in. Rain showers from the southwest continue off and on through the 7th and on through the 8th as a little satellite low swings up across the south coast from the southwest. Still cool enough during all of this for snow in the higher hills. So spring, not really springing yet, but by the 9th we see the southwest flow dry out as ridging builds up from the U.S. southwest, or for the U.S. west coast. Still a fair amount of higher clouds coming around that high pressure and in from the southwest as low pressure continues to dominate out here. So still it's drying out, but we still got some cloud coming around, but it's nice and sunny down there and warm. In fact, this offshore low gathers on the 10th, bringing a milder system in from the southwest. But by the evening, it has moved through and we're finally into a drier trend and a fairly cool westerly flow that gets clearer and clearer through the 11th and 12th, and then holding through the 13th with some support down here. So we're into a westerly flow. This is kind of eased off. It's kind of retreated back up here, more of a westerly flow with the low high pressure down there. Meanwhile, a fairly strong mist system moves into the upper G of A, Gulf of Alaska, from the Aleutians, with plenty of rain hitting the whole coast of northern VI. So this moved up. This gets support in from here. We got a front coming in across the coast up there, and this is But for us, it passes through only as cloud from the west-southwest on the 13th and then the 14th. And then finally, so this sort of passes through just as cloud coming across there on the 13th and 14th. With the passage of this front up through offshore waters, with the passage of this front, we see new ridging build in up through offshore waters. So this is over here, so let's get this out of here. I'm going to try and explain this. That passes through, we see new high pressure build up through here and onto the coast from the west with a coolish northwest seasonal flow of sun cloud for the 15th. This ridge gets more and more established through the 16th and 17th under a nice northerly flow. And this is what we've been in the past week here. So you folks out there will be feeling this very spring-like, warm with this kind of northerly flow as this slowly moves on the coast. It's cool mornings and nice warm days up around 16, 17, but not quite summer days. We'll get to those in a little while. Anyway, so cool crisp mornings, nice warm sunny days, not quite summer days though. By the 18th, this ridge, which was a couple days ago, this ridge is starting to break down And after another beautiful sunny day on the 18th, we start to see cloud move in from the northwest late in the day as a distant Alaskan low, just a trace of rain overnight and into the 19th as this front moves through, followed by a cooler west-northwest to northwest blow that brings a breezy spring-like mix of sun and clouds for the 19th and the 20th, and that was on this past weekend. Now, so that's what we're kind of under right now, is this breezy, seasonally cool west-northwest flow. That is going to continue on into today, which is Monday the 21st. So for you out there, birds and bees and plants and animals, spring-like but seasonally spring-like, dry from the west-northwest, as this sort of high pressure, it's still this high pressure, remnants of it, moving along. And it's not very descriptive, but anyway, a seasonal west-northwest flow for today, tomorrow, into Wednesday, and on into Thursday. As this surface ridge slowly moves onto the coast, it's going to get clearer and warmer. Not anywhere near summer day, but by Thursday's the pick of our day. It should be quite nice. Now, so this is really the spring continuing on. Probably not as warm as last week, but we do have another system that's up in the Gulf of Alaska for later this week. It looks like that's going to be spinning away up there. It's going to send in a satellite low next Friday, which is about 4 days from now, and a return to rain on Friday and for the weekend as that little satellite low comes in across the Pacific Northwest. And then it looks like the main low will drop down here and bring in more weather from the west-southwest, sort of for the, let's see, for Saturday, later Saturday maybe, and into Sunday. So 4 to 6 days from now, expect more rain and kind of cool rain because it's still sourcing from around here. We may see snow back up in the hills. So typical spring-like weather. Things are getting going now. Plants are really coming out. So there's hope for summer in the future, but not anywhere in the visible future. Anyway, hope that helps out. And as always, my friends, may the forecast be with you.